This was the spot I came to 7-8 months ago where I made a confession that I work at Home Depot and I'm retired. It was a little embarrassing, but that was 7-8 months ago. I've come back here today to make another, more of an announcement. Boomers, recognize this spot? This is where I came clean a few months ago, 7-8 months ago, about how I ended up in retirement working for Home Depot. I was a little embarrassed about it, but I thought at that time it's something I needed to tell, be upfront about, especially with some of the things I was going to do and talk about going forward with my channel. Well, I've come back tonight. As I mentioned, I tried this earlier today, and the way the lighting was, it wasn't going to work. Anyway, I came back tonight. It was cooler. And I'm going to try to get this recorded tonight without, security coming out and arresting me. So I'm back in the same spot. I'm back in the same spot for a different reason, with the intention of moving on in 2026. That means at the right time, when the pieces are accomplished, so to speak, I'm going to move on from Home Depot. And I guess the best way to put it is to work for myself, to have control of my time. That would be number one. And I know so many of you are in the same boat, just by government statistics, as well as the thousands of comments hearing from you. You're in the same boat. So maybe my next 12-month exit, as I document it, could be of interest to you. It might even help you. I hope so. So I'm back here tonight to tell you about what happens next. 2026 is my plan to stop working at Home Depot and move forward. The biggest change is going to change my retirement, because I'm going to take back control of my time. Now, this isn't some dramatic plan or video. It's not some dramatic I quit tomorrow video. This is a up to 12-month plan. I don't know exactly when it'll happen, but the hope is the exit from full-time work for someone else to full-time work and control of my time happens this year. And I'm going to go over what has to happen for that to happen. I'm going to show you what's working and what isn't working. I'll update you along the way, and I'll be asking for your feedback throughout this journey. If you're still working in retirement and you want to quit someday, maybe the path that I'm going to take might help you, might give you some ideas how it could work for you. We'll see that, and if it's actually possible. I'm either doing this or I'll go down in a flame of glory. So I don't want you to think I've got this all figured out. I'm basically figuring it out as I go. I've got some definite first steps. I've already taken some of the first steps, but I've given this a lot of talk. I've given this a lot of thought. I spent much of my time on my trip that I recently took thinking about doing what I hope to be able to do this year. What I'm doing is I'm giving myself 12 months to prepare and plan the exit. When it happens will determine on when and if I meet the goals that I feel necessary that I need to meet to be comfortable and be responsible in leaving the job. See, I know what you're thinking. Same thing I've been thinking is things are expensive. Things aren't going down. And Social Security, we know, is not meant or able to cover these things. So I've taken that into account, obviously. But the part that often isn't talked about and weighs the most heavily on me is the mental part. Obviously there's the worry on the physical things you got to pay for, but it's this conflict of doing what you're supposed to do, what you need to do, and starting to believe there might be another path to take. There might be a way out. There's possibly other things that could provide the life I'd like to have that looks better as a retiree. I've talked a lot about the quest, or at least I've thought a lot about the quest and how channels that have something going on that I want to follow, not just go episode to episode, but I want to follow what the outcome ends up being. And so here's what I want to do. I want to document this plan in real time and make it basically a monthly update type of thing, not a weekly. If you'd like, I hope you follow along. I'll be sharing the progress on a monthly basis minimally, talking about what's working and what isn't working, and the numbers I'm comfortable sharing. I do have a plan with the newsletter to share the actual numbers down to the penny and answer so many of these questions I get regarding a number of different areas that I just don't think would be most appropriate to put out in a YouTube video. But maybe, and it's not like I'm trying to dodge them, but I'm just trying to find the medium that would be that the answers and the information gets out to the people that are really asking, and not all these other people that, they're just here for the drama. So here's what I do know is I'm not the only one living in this situation. A lot of us are, and maybe we can help each other. So here's the deal. Over the next 12 months, I'm going to test the options that I've come up with. I'm going to share them with you. And not that these things have to be exactly the way you would use, the way you could apply them to your life, and your situation, but maybe give you some ideas that would help you do something similar. It's the things that regular people on Social Security could actually do. I'm tired. I don't know about you, but I've watched the last video I want to watch. It tells me what I can do with my money, where to put it to live, far into the future. We don't have that option. So I hope to provide the options. I hope to provide options when there doesn't seem to be any options. I do hope that you'll follow along, not because you think I have all the answers, but because you'll want to see with the decisions I have coming up, maybe they might work for you. I'll be doing this kind of like in real time, kind of like thinking out loud. And I would welcome anything you think I'm missing, or anything that you think might work for you, or even just outright, Phil, you're crazy. Okay, so what am I talking about specifically? When I say work for myself, here's what I mean. It's basically a mix of about 3 different things going forward that I've already started to develop a little bit, but a few things that I still need to develop, and a number of things I need to take action on. Number 1, I'm going to continue to live very simple on a tight budget, but a comfortable budget. So I don't have to do anything dramatically at this point, but I can look at areas maybe where I can cut some expenses to just even make the budget that tighter, that much more powerful, because I am bringing in more than I'm spending right now. And so the more that goes into that savings bucket, so to speak, will get me to my D-Day, where I leave and go out on my own comfortably. There is just one other major spend that I have. I'll share that maybe later, another time, because I'm not ready for the criticism yet. But it's a business expense. The more I'm able to keep control of my spend, or even lower it a little bit, that just gives me a sense and a reality more of freedom. Okay, number 2, YouTube. I know this may be hard to believe, but YouTube isn't really paying the bills. As a matter of fact, I'm spending more doing YouTube than what YouTube is reciprocating. But it's doing something really important and really meaningful and fulfilling to me. And that is, it's connecting people together. It's connecting us together. It's proving to me that, people later in life can do something later in life, or build something later in life. And that's exciting. And The word that I keep coming back to is that word of fulfillment. It's providing that. So I want to treat my YouTube more seriously, and continue to allow it to find its own lane and become one of the legs of income going forward. Next is development of a small income stream that I control. That could be something as simple as a digital product, which I find really interesting, really fun. I use them myself, and there's just so much opportunity out there. But there's that. It could be also some kind of a service related to some of the passion projects that we have as we've aged. Anyways, I want to test some of these opportunities slowly and see where it goes. Okay, one of the most important goals I need to meet before I walk away from the paycheck is that I have that safety net, that savings account. Recommendation is that you're able to cover your expenses for about a year. That if I have that, then I'll feel better about this not being some kind of just quit and go for it and hope for the best. It's better. It's beyond just a parachute. It's having some peace of mind that I'm going to be okay, because the absolute worst case scenario then would be to go back to work. But having this safety net of a savings plan, of which I've already got in place, will provide me that runway, I think, to give the time it's going to continue to take to get some of these other endeavors off the ground. All right, so what can you expect? Every month, I'm going to update this exit plan. Here's the key, or one of the keys, is that each month I'm going to ask you for the feedback, or you'll have opportunity to give me feedback. And I look forward to that because, like I said before, I don't have this thing figured out. And I know some of you do. And your input, your opinion matters and is valuable. For those of you, again, that have related to some of my videos, the question you often will have is, where would you start? Well, you're exactly the people I'm making this for, and I know you're going to be the audience that gets the most out of this. Now, the rest of you there's going to be a good part of people just checking in to see the crash and burn, because that is a possibility. That's what makes it real. I don't know how this is going to turn out. My perfect scenario is I'm able to professionally and quit my job, say my goodbyes, give my thanks, and wake up the next morning controlling and in control, controlling what I'm doing that day and in control of my future, a little more so than I am right now. Guys, I think one of the things I've thought about is a lot of us have said, I'm going to work until I drop. That's just the way my life is meant to be. It's just how it ends. And that's been something I just failed to accept. I don't want to accept. We have options. I have options. And they're worth trying. To put it in its simplest, clearest sense, this is going to be some videos going forward over the next 300 some days of me trying. That's all it is. This is me trying to make retirement, to making the best in retirement of the way things have turned out. It's that simple. It's been my foundational creed as I reached this age officially after taking Social Security. All right, before I end this, I want to be crystal clear on some of the steps I'm doing right now and some of the expectations I have going forward. First, I'm getting crystal clear in my mind the monthly number that I need to put my 2 weeks notice in. Number two, I'm making sure that my budget is tight, that I'm living okay, I'm living comfortably, I'm enjoying life, but if I'm looking to see if there's anything I need to, or that I can tighten up in any way. Now, one of the biggest things is just to continue with a frugal living approach, and I'm going to keep doing that. It's very important. Okay, and finally, I'm going to be clarifying in my own mind a plan written out about one of the digital products that I want to do, and I'll be sharing more about that after the first of the year. And I want to be really clear, I don't have this figured out, but I know I'm close. I've get to the point where if I just make a few changes, if I create a little bit of supplemental income, I can take control of the rest of my, time. And, I think about that. If the time that I spend here, if I had it to myself, if I took half of it, what could I accomplish with what I've already started? And what kinds of things could I get done? What kinds of things could I figure out with that extra 20 to 40 hours a week? That kind of excites me. Okay, before I go, I think I've already said that once. Well, it's been kind of cool to come back, even though opposite time of day, and talk about what in one way launched my YouTube channel with a viral video, but now is going to be kind of the turning point and the plan going forward, that within the next 12-month period, my plan to exit the working, well, maybe I'm just going to say I'm going to change my focus and my direction. Look, I'm hoping 2026 is going to be the year that I'm able to make the changes I've been wanting to make. To be honest, I didn't think I had too many options, but over the last year, I've been filled with optimism that there are other options for me and hopefully for you. When you've ended up in retirement without the nest egg, and life gets a little bit more challenging, because while the income stops or gets capped, living expenses do not. And I know there's a lot of you out there that have nothing to fall back on, no family to fall back on. So I want to give you some hope that with positive steps forward and actions, you've got options that could work for you. We're going to find out if they work for me. So, with that said, later, boomers.
Hey, y'all. To get the facts and the information I can't share or won't share in a YouTube video, check out these links. See you there.